Every single year, more than 40,000 people attempt to summit Mount Everest's base camp trek, but fewer than 1% of the global population will ever stand at the summit itself, and of those who do try, roughly 1 in every 100 never makes it back down alive. That number is not a warning label. For a growing number of people around the world, it is the attraction. Welcome to the world of extreme adventure, where the line between courage and recklessness is razor thin, and where the planet's most dangerous landscapes have become the ultimate proving grounds for human endurance. In the next 10 minutes, you will travel to the most brutal corners of Earth, discover the people who willingly throw themselves into chaos, and uncover the one truth about extreme adventure that almost nobody in the industry wants to admit. Because here is the thing, these experiences are not just about adrenaline. They reveal something far deeper about what it means to be human, and by the end of this video, you may find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about risk, reward, and why we push beyond our limits in the first place. To understand why extreme adventure exists at all, you have to go back to the earliest chapters of human civilization. Long before bungee jumping and base jumping were sports, humans were engaging in life-threatening physical challenges as rites of passage. The Nagal land diving ritual on Pentecost Island in Vanuatu dates back over 500 years. Men and boys tie vines to their ankles and leap from wooden towers up to 30 meters high, the idea being that the dive purifies the land and ensures a good yam harvest. This is widely considered the origin of bungee jumping, and it was never about fun. It was about community, survival, and proving readiness for adult life. That psychological DNA, the need to test oneself against something genuinely dangerous, never disappeared. It simply evolved. By the 20th century, mountaineers were treating Himalayan peaks the way ancient warriors treated battlefields. Edmund Hillary and Tenzing Norgay summit Everest in 1953, igniting a global fascination with vertical conquest. The commercial adventure tourism industry grew out of that fascination, and by the 1990s, companies were offering guided expeditions to some of the most hostile environments on Earth. Today, extreme adventure is a multi-billion-dollar global industry spanning every continent, every terrain type, and virtually every form of human fear you can name. So what exactly counts as extreme? The classification matters because it shapes how we understand risk. Most researchers and adventure tourism experts define extreme adventure as any activity where a mistake or equipment failure has a realistic chance of causing death or serious injury. Under that definition, the list is longer and more varied than most people expect. It includes high-altitude mountaineering, big wave surfing, wingsuit flying, freediving, cave diving, solo ocean sailing, and ultra-endurance racing across some of the harshest landscapes on the planet. Take the Marathon des Sables, held annually in the Moroccan Sahara Desert. Participants run approximately 250 kilometers over 6 days in temperatures that regularly exceed 50 degrees Celsius. They carry all their own food and gear. Medical teams stand by for heatstroke, organ failure, and severe dehydration. Over 10,000 people have completed it since its founding in 1986, but every single year, multiple runners require emergency evacuation. And yet the waiting list grows longer with every edition. Or consider free diving, the sport of descending to extreme ocean depths on a single breath with no scuba equipment. The current world record for the no limits discipline stands at 214 meters, set by Herbert Nitsch in 2007. To put that in perspective, that is deeper than most commercial fishing vessels drop their nets. At those depths, the pressure is so intense that the lungs compress to roughly the size of a tennis ball. Blackout is always one miscalculation away. Freediver Nicholas Mevalai died in 2013 during a competition attempt at the Dean's Blue Hole in the Bahamas, highlighting that even elite athletes with years of training operate in terrifyingly thin margins. But here is what nobody talks about. Extreme adventure is not dominated by thrill-seeking reckless personalities the way popular media suggests. Multiple psychological studies, including research published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology, have found that elite extreme athletes often score lower on impulsivity scales than the general population. They are methodical, highly disciplined, and deeply analytical about risk. What separates them from casual risk takers is not fearlessness. It is exceptional risk management combined with an unusually high tolerance for calculated uncertainty. That insight completely reframes how we should think about adventure. The people climbing frozen waterfalls in the Canadian Rockies or descending vertical limestone cliffs in the Dolomites are not gambling with their lives carelessly. They have trained for thousands of hours. They study weather patterns obsessively. They rely on redundant safety systems and peer review within tight-knit communities of equally serious practitioners. The danger is real, but it is measured, respected, and prepared for in ways most outsiders never see. Consider wingsuit base jumping, arguably the most visually spectacular and statistically dangerous sport in the modern era. Participants jump from cliffs or aircraft wearing a specially designed suit that creates surface area between the arms and legs, allowing them to glide at speeds exceeding 250 kilometers per hour, sometimes within meters of cliff faces and treetops. The fatality rate is genuinely staggering. Between 2002 and 2016, over 260 wingsuit pilots died globally. That is not a rate buried in statistics. It is a rate that the community openly acknowledges and debates. Organizations like the World Wingsuit League have implemented strict progression rules specifically because experience, not bravery, is what keeps pilots alive. Then there is the ocean. Solo round-the-world sailing might not carry the visceral drama of wingsuit flying, but it demands an entirely different category of mental and physical endurance. The Vendée Globe, a non-stop solo circumnavigation race covering roughly 45,000 kilometers, takes approximately 80 days under ideal conditions. Sailors face rogue waves taller than 6-story buildings in the Southern Ocean, equipment failures in locations where rescue is days away at minimum, and sleep deprivation so severe that hallucinations are common. French sailor Yannick Bestaven won the 2020 edition in 80 days, 14 hours, and 27 minutes. He described the experience as both the most terrifying and most profoundly clarifying of his life. That word, clarifying, appears again and again when extreme adventurers describe their motivations. Not just excitement, not just bragging rights. Clarity. The removal of everything non-essential until only survival and the present moment remain. Neuroscience gives us a partial explanation. During high-stakes physical challenges, the brain floods with norepinephrine and dopamine. Time perception alters. Prefrontal cortex activity decreases, silencing the constant internal noise of modern life. Many practitioners describe the experience as the closest thing to complete mental stillness they have ever encountered. For some, extreme adventure is not escapism. It is the only environment where they feel genuinely present. This has significant implications for how we think about adventure tourism as a global industry. Countries like New Zealand, Norway, Switzerland, and Nepal have built substantial portions of their tourism economies around controlled access to extreme environments. New Zealand's adventure tourism sector alone contributes over $3 billion New Zealand dollars annually to the national economy. Nepal's trekking and mountaineering permits generated over $6 million in the fiscal year 2022 to 2023 alone, and that figure represents only the permit fees, not the enormous ecosystem of guiding companies, gear suppliers, and hospitality businesses that support each expedition. But growth brings consequences. Everest's death zone above 8,000 meters now contains an estimated 15,000 kilograms of abandoned equipment and human waste. The environmental cost of mass extreme adventure is becoming impossible to ignore, and destination countries are beginning to implement stricter regulations, permit caps, and experience prerequisites to protect both their natural assets and the adventurers themselves. The world's most extreme adventures are ultimately a mirror. They reflect our deepest instincts, to test limits, to discover what we are actually made of when comfort is stripped away and only raw capability remains. Before you go, if you learned something valuable today, hit that like button right now. Subscribe to TravelSphere for a brand new video every single day. We will see you in the next one.